Whoop, whoop. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
So Purelator dropped off a package yesterday. Looks like it's from our friends at YouTube. Look at that. Presented to Twin Stick Garage for passing 100,000 subscribers. Oh, isn't that special? Well, thank you so much to everyone who's been watching me work on these old trucks and hitting the subscribe button there on the channel. Can't thank you enough. Nice. Okay, so this week I'm going to continue working on Project Snowman, my 79 Kenworth 900A that I'm trying to do up like the one that was used in the Smokey and the Bandit movie.
And we'll bring it back no matter what it takes.
And you'll recall from the last episode, I had been working away on the interior. I put the new seats in and did a bunch of other work in there. But while I'm waiting for the roof cap to get modified and then the new door panel for that side, I figured I'd pivot away from the interior and start working on the outside, getting this truck ready for eventual primer and hopefully some decent paint. I mean, bodywork's not the funnest job out there, but it is rewarding in the end, but it just takes a lot of time. And one of the things I wanted to figure out was a way to clean up the heads of these huck bolts. So we've got some that are rusty, and then some that are just kind of chewed up from the sandblasting. So I wanted to figure out an efficient way to clean those heads up without actually sanding over top of it, because then what can happen is you can flatten the head and then it just loses that nice sharp round look. So one of the viewers in a previous episode actually suggested and said they've had good luck with just putting steel wool inside a socket that's just a little bit larger and then just spinning it over top of the heads. So we're going to give that a go and see how that works. Okay, so I got some regular old steel wool and a 9/16 socket, which is just a little larger than the huck bolt head. And so we'll just take some of this and stuff her on down in the socket, and we'll see if this works. I actually stopped into a body shop a few days ago and I said, you know, I've got probably 500 of these huck bolt heads that need to be polished up. Is there some special tool? And he just looked at me sideways and said, no, there isn't. So I told him about this trick and he said, well, that might work. So I guess we'll see. He wasn't convinced though. All right. Oh, that's actually not too bad. I think that's gonna work. Now I wonder if the steel wool seems to be cutting. Well, I'll bring the camera closer so you can see what I'm doing here. I wonder if the steel wool is almost too abrasive because it's cutting into the aluminum, but it sure cleans the head up nice. I wonder if I should almost go with the Scotch-Brite. But that should work because now the head's nice and polished. It'll accept primer. And then at least it's kind of cleaned up around it. And then I think I can get my orbital sander around and clean that up. But yeah, I think that's going to work. Not too bad. Yeah, so jury's still out on this. I have to say it cleans up the heads real nice, but the steel is so abrasive it actually cuts into the aluminum, which makes quite a job to try and clean it up. And you can see it's gouged in, so it's going to take a lot of work. I mean, it can always be fixed. Aluminum's soft, it just takes a lot more work. So I don't know if that saved me any time. So I've actually decided to pivot away from the socket idea, because I don't believe it's a steel wool that's actually chewing into the aluminum there. I think it's the outer edge of the socket. So as it spins over that, it chews in. So even if I put a different material in the socket, I think it's still gonna muck up the aluminum. So I went to my local Canadian Tire and I got a new setup. This is a grinding disc kit from 3M. And what it has is a little fitting here that just goes in the air tool. And it's got different pads. So one's kind of a Scotch-Brite, softer pad for polishing, and then there's a more abrasive one for removing rust and paint. And then I bought an extra pack of those. And these are pretty slick because they just screw right on. So once you get the tool in there, you can screw these on and just change them out. And then I'm thinking what I can do is use this tool to clean up the heads and then kind of clean up around them. So we'll give that a try and see how that works. Just like that. And screw this guy in. Little dab of air tool oil. Dab will do ya. Let's see how this works. Yeah, that cleans it up quick. But the only thing is, I wonder if this is a little too abrasive because it doesn't take much and it already starts flattening the head out. So maybe I'll try the softer Scotch-Brite pad. See if that's a little kinder, but it sure cleans it up nice. There's certainly a quick change deal. That's nice. Oh yeah, winner chicken dinner. That's perfect. It cleans it up just like new and doesn't flatten the head out at all. So the Scotch-Brite pad, that's the one. Okay, now I only got, I don't know, 100 more of these to do.
Working it out, mellowing out on you. Take back the weed, take back the cocaine, baby. Take back the pills and take back the whiskey too. Don't need it now, 'cause your love's all I was after. I'll make it now, 'cause I can get off on you.
All right, so that was a good 4 hours of work. May not look like it, but trying to polish those all out. And then because it was kind of rough, I wanted to sand it as well. But that's looking pretty darn good. Okay, so next what I wanted to do was start attacking this, the flat sections. And instead of using my orbital, I actually went to Princess Auto and picked up a Pro Point air sander. So we'll give this a go. I was going to get the Ingersoll Rand. It was a little more money and I was willing to spend it. The problem was though, it wanted 8 to 9 CFM and my dinky little air compressor just wouldn't keep up. So I bought kind of the cheaper one because it supposedly uses less air. So hopefully it can keep up, because what was surprising is this little This guy here, it sure goes through air. So what I'd have to do is I'd do like four rivets, and then I'd be out of air. The compressor would have to catch up, but then I just switched to sanding, so I was kind of back and forth to get that all done. I mean, ultimately, I got to get a better compressor, but I'll have to save my pennies for that. Okay, anyway, enough chattering. Let's take that air sander out of the box and see how it does on the flat sections. Okay. Not sure, a small screw for the reservoir. Okay, that seems full. It's always fun trying out a new tool. A little thread dope on here. Okay. And we'll put some sandpaper. So this is just a roll of 3M sandpaper. So this is 120. I just ordered it off Amazon. And it's got an adhesive sticky back. It just goes on like so. Okay. Put a drop of oil in here. Now let's see what it does. Cool. All right, let's put it to work. Yeah, that's gonna work good. Well, that thing is an air hog. Yeah, it really goes through the air, so I kind of got to take a break while the compressor catches up. But I'll tell you what though, it sure works a lot better than doing it by hand with a block. So, yeah, and it helps identify the low spots as well. A lot of people were commenting in the in an earlier video that my Milwaukee orbital is going to make all kinds of waves because you're just kind of going in and out. Whereas the nice block sander does it flat and then helps identify, like I say, the low spots. So I'll do a little more sanding, and then what I figure is I'll mix up a batch of body filler, and we'll fill it in the low spots, and we'll try and get this level. But then I was also trying out the air sander on the aluminum, and it does a beautiful job on that as well. So that'll help knock down in quick order the rough stuff that's still left. So I figure we'll be able to, a little bit of work, maybe even get this back panel and most of the roof done by the end of the day. Let's keep at it. Tough to get in and out of here. So as I was block sanding this panel, I did find a few spots that were a little low. So what I'm going to do is we'll just put some spot putty in there and spread that out. See if we can get this level before we put primer on. Oh, I guess I should knead this first. Obviously been sitting in the store for a while. But yeah, it just looks like little spots where there was corrosion. It won't take much filler, so I'll just use this stuff. Oh, that's nice. Spread's beautiful. Yeah, like I say, bodywork's it's rewarding, but it's the most labor-intensive part of these projects for sure. I mean, I've pretty much spent the whole day. The sun's already setting out there. It doesn't even look like I accomplished that much. I suspect that this is from just rocks getting flipped up. So we'll just spread a thin coat on here. Try and fill all that in. Yeah, just a bunch of tiny little pinholes. Not really pinholes, but kind of dings from road rocks. So I can spread it pretty thin because it doesn't take much to fill in those little divots. I don't know if you can see them there, but where it kind of goes clear, you can see the indent where the material, the filler goes in, those little dings. Yeah, I'm sure as I continue block sanding, I'll find more spots that need work, but this is an iterative process. But the more effort you put in, the better result you get. Okay, so we'll let that dry before we attack it with the sandpaper again. And while that's going on, so these bolts were in here. There's two on each side, and I think what they originally was for a grab handle to step up onto the deck. Now I don't want the grab handles because they weren't in the movie truck. So I took the bolts out. And I think I'm just gonna whip up a little batch of fiberglass Bondo to fill those 4 holes in. That way we can sand those as well. Remnants from earlier repairs. Okay, get off there. So now I'm not going to need much, so probably something like that. So this is a short strand fiberglass reinforced Bondo. Oh, it smells delicious. So again, a little batch, and you're supposed to knead the hardener, and then you just lay a bead right over top of the middle, That's all you need. And we'll mix this up. It should fill in those holes nicely. Built up a thirst today. At least I don't have to listen to that air compressor. I've been listening to that stupid thing all day long. Okay. That's looking pretty good. As I've said many times, I'm not a pro. I'm just learning as I go. There. Okay. When that hardens up, we should be able to sand her down. Man, did this tool ever make quick work of that fiberglass? So that's actually not too bad. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of spot putty on there. That way I can feather it out so you won't see the circle. That's not too bad at all. Okay, the sun is setting and I think Mrs. Twin Sticks is going to be calling me in for supper soon, so I think I will finish this up and then we'll let this all harden and then maybe I'll attack it next Saturday. I think I need a new one of these. This guy's not very flat. Nah. It's tough because that silly huck bolt's right in the way. Yeah, something like that. So I guess with that, we're gonna wrap it up there. Hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you got it, a trucker brought it.